Today we are going to study about how the potable water is treated before for human consumption. The contents of the study include an overview about water and their quality, water cycle, and various stages of water treatment that include screening, coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, filtration, and disinfection. Let us see the overview about the water. Looking at water, you might think it is the most simple thing around us. The pure water is colorless, tasteless, and odorless. But it is not at all simple and plain, and it is vital for all life on earth. Where there is water, there is life, and where water is scarce, life has to struggle. So that water is a major important to all living things. Do you know how the water cycle occurred in the environment? Let us see. The water cycle starts when water on the surface of the earth evaporates. The evaporation means the sun heats the water which turns into gas. Then the water collects as water vapor in the sky. This makes clouds. Next, the water in the cloud gets cold. This makes it become liquid again. This process is called as condensation. Then the water falls from the sky as rain, snow, sleet or hail. This is called precipitation. The water sinks into the surface and also collect into lakes, ocean or any water reservoir. Again it gets evaporated and continues the cycle. In India, municipal water supply is a major source of drinking water in rural and urban areas. Generally, the raw water is sourced from lake, stream or river, dams and some caves. The water is sent across a vast network of pipes and pumping stations to be delivered to human consumption. The raw water normally contains many sediment, bacteria, viruses and protozoans. Therefore, the quality of water we drink is very important. The drinking water should be totally clean, pure and free of any disease causing microorganism. That's why it should be properly treated and disinfected before using it for drinking purpose. Now we will see the detailed protocol for water treatment. The major techniques which are used for in the water treatment are coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, filtration and disinfection. Also, as required, other steps will be added depends upon the chemistry of treated water. Let us see one by one. At first, the raw water collected from various reservoirs are kept in large tanks. Initially, the screening is carried out in the collected tank. Here, any coarse floating object and weeds are removed by passing the water through a metal screen. Once the screening is over, the water passed into another tank that is called as coagulation tank. Normally, the water containing many impurities. By adding coagulation agent, for example aluminum sulfate or iron sulfate, the impurities present in the water are gets coagulated or precipitated. That means the positive and negative charged particle present in the water are attract each other and forms neutral particle. In this process, for proper mixing, the water is mixed with the help of rotating pedal. Next, the water is transferred into another tank through a pipeline. Here, the coagulant particles are coalesced and linked together through a weak bond and forms a big clumps that are called as flakes. That means many small clumps are joined together and form a big clumps. In the next process, that means sedimentation. The treated water is allowed to stand for few hours in order to settle down the clumps or flakes. Depending upon the size and their weight, the flakes were settled down at the bottom of the tank. From this, a clean water are transferred to filtration and the sediment present at the bottom of the tank is removed. Then we will see for filtration. Here, the sediment-free clean water is passed through a filter. It is made up of gravel, sand and charcoal material which are arranged as a bed. By filtering the water, the small sediment present in the water and some large living microorganism are gets filtered. After that, the clean water is moved to disinfection pipe where some disinfecting agent are added with the water at a required concentration. For example, normally chlorine is added at a level of 4 mg per liter. The disinfectant kills most of the harmful microorganisms which are present in the water. Finally, the treated water is stored in a large tank and distributed to home for human consumption. The treatment and distribution of water for safe use is truly one of the greatest tasks, and abundant clean water is essential for good public health. Humans cannot survive without water. In fact, our body is made up of 67% of water. The treatment and distribution of water for safe use is one of the greatest achievements of the 20th century. Drinking water chlorination and filtration eliminate many waterborne diseases causing microorganisms like cholera, typhoid fever, dysentery and hepatitis. Next, while considering about waterborne diseases, it is easy to take for granted the safety of modern municipal drinking water. But prior to widespread filtration and chlorination, contaminated drinking water presented a significant public health risk. The microscopic waterborne agent of cholera, typhoid fever, dysentery and hepatitis A killed thousands of pupils annually before disinfection methods were employed. Although these pathogens are defeated regularly now by technologies such as chlorination. Drinking water pathogens may be divided into three general categories such as bacteria, viruses and parasitic protozoa. In these, bacteria and viruses contaminate both surface and groundwater, whereas the parasitic protozoa appear in surface water. Then, the purpose of disinfection is to kill or inactivate microorganisms so that they cannot reproduce and infect human host. Among these three microbes such as bacteria, viruses and protozoa, bacteria and viruses are well controlled by the normal chlorination process, in contrast to parasitic protozoa which demand more sophisticated control measures. For that reason, parasitic protozoan infections may be more common than bacterial or viral infection. Prior to widespread chlorination of drinking water, bacteria like Vibrio cholerae, Salmonella typhi and several species of Shigella are routinely inflicted serious diseases such as cholera, typhoid fever and bacillary dysentery. Next, among viruses, the enteric viruses such as hepatitis A, Norwalk virus and rotaviruses are excreted in the human feces of infected individual and may contaminate the drinking water. The enteric viruses infect the gastrointestinal or respiratory tract and are capable of causing a wide range of illness including diarrhea, fever, hepatitis, paralysis, meningitis and or diseases. Then several species of protozoan parasites are transmitted through water in dominant. According to WHO, the organisms such as Cryptosporidium parvum oocyst and Giardia lamblia cyst are introduced to waters all over the world by fecal pollution. The same durable form that permits them to persist in surface water and makes this microorganism resistant to normal drinking water chlorination, so that the water system that filter raw water, it may successfully remove the many protozoan parasites present in the drinking water. Also, an emerging pathogen is one that gains attention because of the following reason, such as a newly recognized disease causing organism, then a known organism that start to cause diseases and an organism whose transmission has been increased. Among many protozoan, Cryptosporidium is an emerging parasitic protozoan pathogen. because its transmission has been increased dramatically over the past 2 decades. There are many evidence suggest it is newly spread in increasingly popular daycare centers and possibly in widely distributed water supplies, public pools and institutions such as hospital and extended care facilities. Also, the protozoan, that means the cryptosporidium, is able to cause potentially life-threatening diseases in the growing number of immunocompromised patients. Next, we will discuss the disinfectant process in detail. Among various processes, chlorine was considered an almost ideal disinfectant based on its proven characters, such as it can be effective against most known pathogens. It provides a residual to prevent microbial regrowth and protect treated water throughout the distribution system. Then, it can be suitable for a broad range of water quality conditions and easily monitored and controlled. And the last one is it is reasonable cost, can be available at very low cost. During the treatment process, chlorine is added to drinking water as elemental chlorine, sodium hypochlorite solution or dry calcium hypochlorite. When applied to water, each of these forms free chlorine, which destroys the pathogenic microorganism present in the drinking water. Almost all countries of water purification system that uses chlorine based process for disinfecting the drinking water, either alone or in combination with other disinfectant. In addition to controlling disease causing organism, chlorination offers a number of benefits such as it can reduce many unfavorable taste and odor and eliminate slime bacteria, mold and algae that are commonly grow in water supply reservoir on the walls of water main and in storage tank. Also, they can remove chemical compounds that have unpleasant taste and hinder disinfection, and also helps to remove iron and manganese from the raw water. As importantly, only chlorine based chemicals provide residual disinfectant level that prevent microbial regrowth and help to protect treated water throughout the disinfection system. I already told disinfection is a chemical process whose objective is to control disease causing microorganisms either by killing or inactivating them. It is potent germicide, that means chlorine disinfectant can reduce the level of many disease causing microorganisms in drinking water to almost immeasurable level, that means low level. Next, taste and odor control. In this, chlorine disinfectant may reduce many unfavorable taste and odor. In the chlorination process, chlorine oxidizes many naturally occurring substances such as foul smelling algae secretion, sulfite and odor from decaying vegetation. Next, bacterial growth control. The chlorine disinfectant may eliminate slime bacteria, mold and algae that are commonly grown in water supply reservoir, on the walls of water main and in storage tank. And the last one is chemical control. The chlorine disinfectant destroys hydrogen sulfide and remove ammonia and also other nitrogenous compounds that have unpleasant taste and hinder disinfection. They also help to remove iron and manganese present in the raw water. Next thing, we should know how the chlorine kills the pathogen present in the raw water. After adding chlorine to water, two chemical species known together as free chlorine, the hypochlorous acid is not only more reactive than the hypochlorite ion, but it is also a stronger disinfectant and oxidant. Then the ratio of hydrochlorous acid to hypochlorite ion in water is determined by the pH. At lower pH, that means higher acidic condition, hypochlorous acid dominate, while at high pH, hypochlorite ion dominate. Thus, the speed and efficacy of chlorine disinfection against pathogen may be affected by the pH of the water being treated. Fortunately, the bacteria and viruses are relatively easy target of chlorination over a wide range of pH. However, the parasitic protozoan, particularly the species Giardia, which is more resistant to chlorination than either viruses or bacteria. Then, during disinfection process, the pathogen surfaces are more readily penetrated by the uncharged and electrically neutral hypochlorous acid than the negatively charged hypochlorite ion, moving through slime coating, cell wall and resistant shell of waterborne microorganism, and then the hypochlorous acid effectively destroy this pathogen present in the drinking water. I already told chlorine is applied to water in one of the three forms such as elemental chlorine, hypochlorite solution or dry calcium hypochlorite. All three forms produce free chlorine in water. The advantages of chlorination are it is highly effective against most pathogen, provides a residual to protect against recombination and to reduce biofilm growth in distribution system. Then it can be easily applied, controlled and monitored. The limitations are byproduct formation such as trihalomethanes and non-volatile compounds. Then during this process, bromide to bromine that will form a brominated organic byproduct. Then the chlorination process is not effective against parasitic protozoan such as Cryptosporidium, and also it requires transport and storage of chemicals. These are some limitation of chlorination process. Then among the three forms of chlorine, elemental chlorine is the most commonly used form of chlorine. It is transported and stored as a liquefied gas under pressure. The advantages of elemental chlorines are it is lowest cost of available chlorine form and also unlimited shelf life. The limitations are hazardous gas require special handling and operator training. Next, sodium hypochlorite. It is also called as bleach. It is produced by adding elemental chlorine to sodium hydroxide. Typically, the hypochlorite solution contains 5 to 50% of chlorine. The advantages are less hazardous and easier to handle than elemental chlorine. It requires fewer training requirement and regulation than elemental chlorine. Then the limitations are short shelf life, potential to add inorganic byproduct such as chlorate, chloride and bromate to water. Next, calcium hypochlorite. It is another form of chlorinating chemical primarily used in smaller applications. It is a white dry solid containing approximately 65% of chlorine and is commonly available in the form of granular and tablet form. The advantages are it is more stable than sodium hypochlorite and it needs less training requirement and regulation than elemental chlorine. The limitations are the dry chemical require more handling than sodium hypochlorite and also it is potential to add inorganic byproduct such as chlorate, chloride and bromate to the drinking water. These are some advantages and limitations of chlorination process. Let us conclude this session. I already told the raw water comes from various sources and filled with many harmful particles. Therefore, it must be treated before it is consumed. Water is life and clean water means health. Thank you.